Hello and welcome back to the Doctor Who Marathon. I'm your host McEdam, and today we're going to be talking about The Space Pirates, written by Robert Holmes, directed by Michael Hart, and it's also the last story to be produced by Peter Bryant. Now, it's a 6-part story, but only episode 2 survives in the BBC archives, and I used the loose cannon reconstruction to watch this story. Now, this story is one of them stories which is considered to be one of the most boring and most forgettable stories. I've only seen this story twice in my lifetime. The first time is when I did a massive marathon back in about 2015 or 2016. And I remember thinking it was actually a really good story. And when I was doing these videos for the marathon and rewatching it, I was going into it thinking, right, I'm going to be giving this story a reappraisal. I'm going to be defending this story. Then I watched it again and I realised why so many people don't like this story. It is easily, by far, the weakest Doctor Who story that we've had so far. My God, is it dull? But however, I do think there are some merits that we can give this story. For example, it doesn't really rely on the Doctor. A lot of Doctor Who stories rely heavily on the Doctor just solving everything and, you know, stuff like that. But this story does actually try its best to try and delve into your, try to get you into the story and not so reliant on the Doctor. In fact, the Doctor doesn't even appear until at least past the halfway point in episode 1. He rarely interacts with any of the characters in the story. And then episode 2, the scenes that they're in, they are completely isolated from the rest of the action. Now, so you could technically consider this a Doctor-like story. A story where the Doctor's hardly in it. In fact, in the last episode, episode 6, the TARDIS crew, the actors on the TARDIS crew were actually on holiday, and their bits were filmed beforehand, so they didn't actually interact with the rest of the cast all that well. This story heavily relies on your interests in the new supporting characters, and it fails. Basically what happens is that there's this group of astronauts, and they're in a time frame where basically space travel has become the norm, and basically there's pirates, and the pirates are trying to steal a rare metal that's basically indestructible, and this corporation has got it. And these pirates attacking bits of their bases. Now, a very interesting thing to note is that the captain of this science brigade is played by Jack May. His name won't be recognisable to most people, but he plays the servant, Mr. Sims, in Adam and Lives. A very outdated 60s program that was created by Verity Lambert, the creator of Doctor Who. So that's just an interesting fact going back to Verity. But yeah, and you don't really get to know anyone personally. It's all the dialogue is like military tactics and all that. There's no heart, there's no emotion, there's nothing to really grasp your character with. However, in episode 2, we do have a character filled with personality. This kind of stereotypical Western Texas redneck character who basically, he was one of the earliest astronauts to make space common back when there was no laws in space. And so he's grown up basically believing he can do whatever he wants, and the captain guy then sees him and basically thinks he's part of the pirate crew. And there's also this thing where the owner of the company that owns all this metal, her father, the woman who owns the company, her father used to work with this guy, and then her father disappeared, and this guy was suspected to be the murderer. And the story, it sounds interesting going by that. However, there's two main problems. One, which I find really bizarre, the woman, the daughter of the man that he used to work with, the one who's owning the company and the one who thinks, who has any suspicions that he could be trying to take the company, she's like, I don't believe it's him. Instead, it's the captain of the bases. He's the one who thinks that it's him. And I think the story got a bit fuffled here. I think it should have been the other way around. Because now that she isn't that interested in him being the villain, it makes you easily guess, right, he's clearly not it. Because she knows something. And something about it just doesn't feel right. There's a great opportunity for drama there, but it just doesn't hit the nail. And with the captain character, it keeps the story logical. The story logical, not like it's like the stuff they use is more science real than science fiction. But more of the story is mainly about doing this, doing that, instead of how people feel and stuff. So I think that was a big mistake on Robert Holmes' part. What else? And the second thing wrong about this concept is this character guy. Now, a lot of people don't like him. I've got to admit, I thought I really enjoyed him. I especially loved the first scene you see of him, where he's sitting down and he's trying to eat his egg, but like everything keeps like distracting him. Like a machinery in his ship breaks down, somebody calls him, and stuff like that. And he's very lovable. I think he's got a nice character. Though like I said, a lot of people find him annoying. So I understand. So don't worry. Don't shove my face that I like this character, but story-wise, he gets very little to do, and he gets a lot of screen time. In fact, I would even consider him the main character of this story, even though he appears in episode 2. And yeah, it's just sort of fluff. Like, I can't really describe it, but the main problem is that the story's too logical. It's mainly focused on plot points, rather than how characters react, how they feel in a situation, and the suspense. It's mainly just, right, do this, do that, do this, do that. Let's follow him, let's not follow him, let's get a guard, let's thing. And there's nothing really intense happening. And 6 parts, no. This concept could rarely hold up 1 episode. 6, really stretching it far. So, yeah, I don't know much to say about this one. I think I made it clear, it's not very good. Like I said, in my opinion, so far in this Doctor Who marathon, this is the weakest story. Though I think I enjoyed the Smugglers the least. I think just pure written wise, and maybe it could have been great with the directing, but only episode 2 survives, and that's the one where the Doctor is hardly in the story. So yeah, I can't. Sorry, I'm struggling with this one. So yeah, I'll just finish it there. So Space Pirates, terrible. Only watch it if you're a die-hard fan. On the bright side, though, this is the last story to have missing episodes in it. So from this point onwards, all the episodes survive in the BBC archives. So hooray! Though not all of them are in colour. Some of them were shot in colour, and then the colour prints are missing, and we've only got black and white, but that's a whole different topic. So join me next time, where we will say goodbye to Jamie, Zoe, and the Second Doctor in the 10-part finale to the Second Doctor era, The War Games. See you then on the Doctor Who Marathon.